2005 Chevy Astro van, all keys lost. Issue for this car is GM39. 2-in-1. So this is a 10 cut. A 10 cut with 4 depth. Okay. Okay, so this is how you know that the lock is in all the way. The leash is in all the way. You check in the 2 edges. So it's a 3 to 10 cut, 4 depth. Now we are going to pick the lock on these wafers. It seems a little hard inside, so I need to lubricate it. I'm just gonna try like this without lubrication, and then if it gives me a problem, I'm going to lubricate it. All right, so the lock was pretty tough. I had to lubricate it. I used brake cleaner first. My thought process is the lock can be dirty, so I use brake cleaner to clean it, and then I use WD-40 to grease it, and then lubricate it actually. And then I use a B102, because that's what this vehicle takes, a B102 to rake it. And after that, everything was smooth again. So the lock is picked. From the time I did that to picking the lock like this was 1 minute. So let me go ahead and read the wafer. This is a 2. Okay, this is a 2. This looks like a 3 to me. It's between 3 and 2, but I'll say more 3. But we keep 3 and 2. 3 first, okay? See, even if I pull it real hard, it doesn't get to 2. So when it's like that, I'd rather think it's a 3, okay? So 3 was a 2, then this, we're gonna take a 3, and that's clearly a 3. So 2, 3, 3 for now. 2, 3, 3, 1. And this is a 3. 2, 3, 3, 1, 3. 2, 3, 3, 1, 3. 1 again. 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1. And we have 2 left. 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1. And this is a 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1, and 1. 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1, and 1. 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1, and 1. So say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Something is missing. There's 3 ones at the end, okay? 10 is a 1, 9 is a 1, 8 is a 1. So 2 3 3 1 3 1 1 1. 2 3 3 1 3 1 1 1. And then the 2 that we were not able to get in, number 1 and number 2. So 2 3 3 1 3 1 1 1. Let's write that down. Okay, so I got the vehicle identified, 2005 Chevy Astro GM39, and these are my cuts: 2 3 3 1 3 1 1. The last one I put a question mark just because it wasn't really bouncing to get in. And so we are going to find out if this combination provide any code. Okay, so we got 1 key, 2 keys, 3 keys, and 4 keys. That means we have to try 4 key blades at most. It could be any one of these ones, but as you can see, this is a lot of cuts. This is one combination. So with this key, we're going to cut this, then we're going to put the key inside if it doesn't turn the lock, and cut this. So basically the machine will adjust this to make this, and then adjust this to make this, and so forth until we're done with all this. If that doesn't turn the lock, then we gotta try this with a different key, like a blank key, and it's going to be the same process. As you can see here, it can be done, but it's a lot of cuts. I have enough battery to do this, but remember, there's also when I was decoding the lock on cut number 4, I wasn't sure if it was a 3 or a 2 because it was in between. I vowed for a 3 because it wasn't going quite on number 2 even when I was pulling it hard. But a lot of time I like to try what I think, what I'm not sure it is. 2 3 3. Okay, then I made a mistake. This is a 3. I pressed 2 twice. So okay, so this is the one I wasn't sure. I was more positive about 3 than 2, but a lot of time what I do is I'll put what I'm not sure about and find out if I get a key, I get some combinations. So as you can see, even 2 right there, between 2 and 3, give me combinations. Okay, combination of 4 keys as well. So I don't want to spend my time trying to cut 8 keys. I don't know how long it's going to take. Could be the first one, could be, cutting all of them until the last one. So what I'm going to try to do first is just going to try to get to the ignition and remove the lock from the ignition, and we'll see what happens. I'll do this in the last resort, So I put my favorite combination, which is 2 3 3, with this being a 3. Okay, and then I'm going to get some tools and go back and try to remove the ignition and find out. Okay, so for that we are going to need something to pry, because there's a cap onto the ignition. Remove that ignition, and then we are going to need some tools to be able to put pressure on the sidebar, and then from the pressure of the sidebar we are going to turn the ignition by raking it. So give me a second. Now in the van, the plan is to remove this, and after removing this cup, there should be a sidebar somewhere here according to what the book say, and turn that ignition. Okay, I also need to remove this cap. So let me see if there are any screws or no, and then I'll come back to the camera. The lock, remove the cap. Now looking for the sidebar. Sidebar should be here, right here. Wait, it got dirty. Right there should be the sidebar. We're gonna try with this. This is the last key that could be cut from this series. Key number 1 could be cut 5 times to make a different key in order to start the car. However, since there's more security in the ignition lock, I tried all those combinations that all turns the door lock, but none of them so far turns the ignition. As you can see, this key is pretty similar to what is over there. If this doesn't turn the ignition lock, then we are going to use another blank key and start cutting this series of key. So in total, we should have our key within all these cuts, but we are going to use a total of 4 keys, assuming everything was done properly. When I say everything was done properly, it's because when I was inserting the key in the ignition, I found out at my 4th combination actually, that I wasn't pushing the key all the way to the ignition. So I'm hoping that my key wasn't within the first 3 one anyway. As you can see, it will turn. This is based on our leash cut and the combination that we got from Dolphin. And I'm going to try the last key of the first combination series, and as you can see here, just like myself, it is not turning the ignition. Therefore, we are going to get another blank B102 and then cut the second series until we find the key that turns the ignition. Right where we are going to start cutting the second series with key number 2 blank being secured over there. As you can see, it's a blank. We are going to cut this combination series starting with this one. Okay, so we're going to cut this one, and if that doesn't turn the ignition, we're going to cut this one and cut this one and cut this one. Remember, all with the same key, because the only thing that the machine is doing is adjusting this key to make this key, and then it's adjusting this key to make this key, and then it is adjusting this key to make this key. So let's go ahead and cut this and try again in the car and find out. Here's a summary of what I did. As far as you remember, I cut all these keys. Let's call these in TV shows. So this is TV show number 1, or let's say key show. This is key show number 1. And each sequence here, let's call it an episode. So key show number 1 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes before key show number 1 is over, right? As far as you guys know, I had already cut all the episodes included in key show number 1, and it did not turn the ignition, it was just turning the door. So I went ahead and started cutting key show number 2. I cut 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes of key show number 2 and it still wasn't able to turn the door, the ignition, but it was always turning the door. Then I was left with key show number 3 and key show number 4. Key show number 3 has 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes, okay? And key show number 4 had 2 episodes. So I took a chance on cutting key show number 4 before key show number 3 because I was thinking there's less episodes here than this, so I could give myself the chance to find the key faster. It was still a chance. So I went ahead and cut key show number 4, episode 1 and episode 2, it was still not turning. Then my remaining key show to work with was key show number 3. I cut key show number 3, episode 1, it didn't work. Episode 2, it didn't work. Episode 3 worked. So we are going to go to the car and prove that. So this is key show number 3, episode number 3. This is the trunk. The trunk has a little problem to when it works only one way, but this is the driver door. That's not new because it was already turning the driver doors, but it was more about the ignition. So all keys fail to turn the ignition, but this key turns it. So this is the key we've been looking for all this time. Let me switch the side, insert it, and it turns it. So this is our key. Unfortunately, the car doesn't start. There is no programming on this. The security is into the lock. But when I turn the key, before starting it, it doesn't show a security light. As you can see over there, security comes and goes away. So if this car has a starting problem, it would be related to something else, which I'm not sure what it could be, because I found out the shifter moved by itself without even me depressing the brake pedal. So there could be something else underlying with this car. There should be a security light if the key was the problem, because look, there's a security light at the bottom that will show when I turn it, meaning it has the security option, okay? But this key is not the problem, because on this car, this is a pass lock system. This car has the security embedded in the lock. So just for testing purposes, I'm gonna try to cut key show number 3, episode 4, which is a different cut at the bowl of the key. It cuts a little deeper, and I want to find out if it's going to turn or no. Out, even depressing the brake pedal. I know that's not normal, but I don't know if that's why the car is starting. But also the battery, I'm not sure if the battery is at 12.45 volts, so we are going to use my toolbox to try to provide extra power.
It's really hot.
Doesn't open? Do you have a plier?
Like, share, subscribe, and holler back.